Hi there, this is Grace from the University of Waterloo Arts Faculty, and this is Berri Azzam, University of Waterloo alumnus. How are you today?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Just to get started off, would you mind telling me a little bit about yourself and your connection to the Faculty of Arts?
Sure. So I just graduated from the University of Waterloo this past June, where I had a major in honors legal studies and a triple minor in political science, sociology, and communication studies. And I currently work with the regional headquarters for the Canada Border Service Agency full-time.
Wow, very impressive. I've never seen three minors before.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely different.
So what made you choose Waterloo Arts?
Honestly, 5 years ago, I was literally sitting at my kitchen table trying to figure out where I'm going to be going with all these different university offers. And I had to basically just make a pros and cons list for all the universities. And I ended up making it for my top three. And after really like diving into what the universities have to offer, I realized Waterloo was the one for me, just because the networking they have is astounding with all the big names. They have a great reputation. They also have a good status with employment after graduation, and their standards for educating their students is very high. So that does make us more attractive when you do apply for jobs. So that definitely did hit a couple of my checkpoints, just because long term I did want to do law school. So I'm like, okay, so those factors have to consider them. Also, like the community there and the campus is very nice. They're very welcoming. It felt like home when I did the Arts 101 tour back like July 2017. And I knew like this is a place for me, especially like I lived in Ancaster my whole life. So moving to Waterloo is completely different. I knew no one. So I really wanted to make sure that the community I was like going to really felt like home and I can make friendships that would last a lifetime. And I have luckily like one of my best friends I met in first year. I'm still best friends with her to this day.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
In your last question, you talked a little bit about networking and the connections that you made with the other people at Waterloo. How would you say your program helped with your career path?
So my program's pretty unique in a way where I did have three minors and a major. So my legal studies, sociology, and political science programs really were interchangeable in the sense where it kind of did build the foundation I need for like creating reports, policy papers, research papers. It kind of helped me understand the basics of how to really progress in the field of law, political science, and sociology. So that did really help. Like for this job, for instance, I'm creating documents for the courts or for approvals for the justice of the JPs. So helping with previous experience through the undergrad program really built that experience and confidence. I'm kind of like, I know what I'm doing. I'm not like just submitting something with uncertainty. So that did help me out in that way. And with the communication studies program, it did help up confidence with like public speaking. I did take like interviewing classes, public speaking classes, negotiation classes. So that did help me out with like presenting myself, knowing like how to articulate myself clearly in a way where someone else could understand, and not to be like very nervous in interviews. Like interviews
Hmm.
are not for everybody, obviously, just because you're meeting someone for the first time, you're trying to build that good first impression. So knowing how to like calm yourself down, kind of make sure you're like in the zone really is important. And those courses definitely helped build those skills and knowledge I can build moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. So what would you say the most memorable part of the University of Waterloo was to you?
I think one of my favorite parts is being a part of the Legal Studies Society. So I was first year representative in first year, and then I got promoted to the VP of Education, where I was kind of interacting with law school admission officers. I was talking to like different people who have high statuses in law schools, admissions, kind of creating like the mock LSATs, networking events. So that really did not only give me more confidence in talking to people outside of my comfort zone, but also creating those networks while trying to inform other students about these different opportunities. Like I was learning just as much as they were and getting kind of behind the scenes of how things are run and how things are kind of administered. So I think that was a very memorable part. I always look back to it like that kind of helped shape my perspective on how things go. Like normally I'm just an attendee, but now I was not only an attendee, but I also hosted the events. So that really helped me build more friendships, more networks with professors, with the networking events we had, and with law admission officers as well. So
Mhm. Yeah. So once you did graduate, what advantages did the Waterloo experience give you that made you stand out from other competition?
well, for instance, Waterloo is always ranked top 3 in Ontario as the university. So that alone really put
Mhm.
me out as a good candidate. Knowing that I graduated with a good GPA from a top university does help you stand out when they're kind of coming down to the last 2 applicants, like who are they really picking? Definitely the skill and the networks I have. So for my references, when I had presented to them, I have my academic references from professors I've really gone to become great coworkers with, whether I did like research assistance programs with them or like just kind of learn more about their research. I was able to use them to help elevate my resume. So when they kind of reached out my contacts, they were able to really prove that I was a good student, I was a good like assistant or whatever the position was
Mhm.
for. They're able to help like provide that foundation. Um, Definitely like just the skills, honestly. Like the courses I took definitely built that foundation I needed, and I can just keep adding on moving forward with future positions.
Yeah, perfect. And so who were some of those important connections that you made at Waterloo?
Definitely the courses I had this repeat professors with. Definitely
Mhm.
political science. I can remember the 2 same professors that I have a lot of their classes with. So having repeat professors is great because you can also get on their good side. So A, you can build that networking, and B, they'll actually get to know you on a deeper level than just a student. So they'll actually understand like your strengths, your weaknesses, your interests,
Mhm.
and they could potentially like offer you positions for the summer RAs, or they could be great references. So those kind of networks are important because academic references are crucial when it comes to grad schools. And also working at the campus part-time really helped create those other different networks. So I worked with the registrar's office. So I kind of built that network there. I worked at the Office of Research. I have another set of networks there as well. So just kind of putting yourself out there and getting yourself diverse is important just because you don't want to have the same reference type for all your jobs. Like you need to kind of change
Mhm.
it depending on the position that you're applying to.
Okay, yeah. That's some great advice. Thank
Yeah.
you. So what's next for you? What are your future plans? And have they changed from when you were a first year student?
So my overall long-term plan was always to be a lawyer. So that hasn't
Mhm.
changed, but I did take a little detour towards that progress. So first year I came in with legal studies honors, and I'm like, you know, I'm going to do law school, do my LSAT in 3rd year, apply 4th year, and then I'm done. But after I got the job as a student with the CBSA last year, I'm like, you know what? This whole agency kind of opened my eyes to a whole new area of field of careers that I did not know about. And I was like, you know what? I should probably look into this more, see what professional growth I can get out of it. It's still in the legal field, so that still hasn't changed, but I decided to kind of hold off on applying to law school. So I did write my LSATs and I do have everything prepared. It's just more of we're waiting until maybe next year or the year after, just kind of give us some time to
Mhm.
see what I can gain out of this position, especially now that I work full time. I'll have more access to different options, different professional growths. So long story short, my end goal hasn't changed, but it's kind of like it's
Mhm.
not a straight path anymore. It's kind of like going zigzag. You
Okay.
just kind of trying to get as much as I can out of everything.
Of course, yeah. And if you could go back and tell your first year self something, what would that thing be?
Oh, I wish I could go back to my first year. Definitely don't be like so focused on one pathway. Growing up, I liked to know what I was doing, what plans I had in life. I didn't like uncertainty. So when first year came and I was like, okay, law school, that's the process I'm gonna go through. I kind of like looked ahead, like what the steps I need, what kind of like GPA needed, like what to do. I kind of organized myself like that. But during COVID, that kind of threw a wrench into everything because everything shifted
Mhm.
online. Like I wasn't prepared for that. So uncertainty does come and go in life, and I wish I could tell myself not to be so hard on myself if things don't go the way I want it to go. I mean, life changes all the time, so
Mhm.
no one put stress on that stuff, on that aspect of life, really. Just it. Life's too short. We've lost a lot of people during the pandemic, and it really does bring a whole new perspective, appreciation of like what is given to you and just take it to your full advantage. And that will definitely lift a lot of stress in first year.
Yeah, definitely. And so my last question is, what's your favorite memory at Waterloo?
I think my favorite memory has got to be when I was an arts leader for the orientation in my second year. So first year I was an attendee, loved the experience, met great friends, learned a lot about new clubs and associations that we had. And then in second year I applied to be a leader, and that really gave me a perspective of something like behind the scenes. Like I didn't
Mhm.
know how much work and effort it took to preparing orientation and making that like experience I had special present to someone else. So I really did learn a lot being a leader, and a whole new appreciation grew for Waterloo about how much effort they really put to putting their students first and making sure that they're feeling welcomed and not just your school, have fun. It's more of like we're here for you, we're a community, we're a
Mhm.
family. There's like a bunch of different options for like if you need help, if you want advice, like the career center helps you out with like resumes and cover letters. Like there's different like opportunities to grow within that school, and just kind of providing those services to students and learning about it during orientation really helps it out. So, and watching people smile, like just knowing you made an impact on their day
Mhm.
is pretty important to me.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Barry, for making the time and coming out today. Do you have any last words of wisdom to give to the students of Waterloo right now?
Well, thank you for taking the time to interview me, and honestly enjoy every single day of life
Mhm.
because you never know when things are going to happen, and definitely take the most out of any opportunities given to you, even if it's not like the end goal position. Just like work your way up, because life isn't like you win first place every single time. You're going to have to start last place some days, middle of the race. Like it's just always different. Don't be too hard on yourself, but other than that, enjoy life.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Grace.